Hello my lovely viewers and viewerettes, welcome back to Jim McJimmer's Road to Happiness, or to 1 million kilometers. I'm sorry I couldn't do an update yesterday. There are some reasons for it, good ones actually. One being over there, but I will tell you on our way. Because I think I messed up sleeping cycles a little bit, and so we are now in a hurry. Okay, let's go. I will tell you along the way what that is and why there was no update yesterday. And yeah, many optimizations. One of them hopefully being the graphic settings. I adjusted them a little bit to squeeze more frames out of this whole thing. That's where I also messed around a little bit and had to try some things. That's why I messed up sleeping cycles, because I needed to jump into the game. Click this, click that, try this, try that. Yeah. I mean, graphic settings are not ideal as of now, but we need to make do. It's what I got for the time being. I honestly want to improve, so as soon as I can justify it and also have a little bit of budget on the side, I will go ahead and invest in a better maybe a bit fast down this hill. I will invest into a better setup, but well, that's what we have for now. Hopefully it's somewhat okay on the screen for you guys. My main goal was to get some more frames so that it's smoother, and I got the impression when I checked some tests, sorry for the jump, I needed to reset my VR view. I was a little bit off center. Anyhow, I wanted to get some more frames because I got the feeling it is smoother, and from what I could see on the tests, it was, well, where did this car go? Did you see that car right there? It just beamed out of existence. I'm done with that. I don't want to. I'm a genie. Oof. But anyway, nice little glitch. So yeah, to the elephant in the room. That thing over there. What is that? Yeah, I will explain in a moment after doing this turn here. So, and why is it popping, and what does it show, and why does it show it, and so on and so forth. So, where do we need to go? Just need to... Well, okay, I think we now got some road ahead of us. Okay, first things first, what is that? Well, I was thinking about something. We have quite some road ahead of us to go to 1 million kilometers, as the plan still is and will be, so I think I can also execute it, because I found out for myself I like doing this. I really enjoy it. I have fun talking to the camera, or not to a camera actually, just into my microphone, but it's okay for me. Wasn't that sure before I tried it, but well, it's fine. I feel really okay. I'm looking forward to it actually, to doing it every day. And I was annoyed because when I couldn't do it. We're still in Britain. Oops. Yeah, as I was about to say before, I was trying to crash into oncoming traffic at full speed with a heavy truck. A bit fast here. I was about to say, what is that? This is approximately the most cursed technological setup I have done in a while, and I have my fair bit of really cursed technology. So, using things way beyond their specs or any developer has ever thought about. And this here pretty much is right on top there, because what is that? This is well, no, let's start like that. Why do we have it? I thought to myself, you know, we have a fair bit of road ahead of us, and me telling old stories and from life in itself, I think can be interesting. And also, in my honest opinion, is the charm of such channels and experiences like this. So the host, basically, that's me, taking you along on the road, blabbering, so a little bit like a driving talk show, so a driving podcast, so to speak. That's what was a great thing for me with Let's Plays when they were really famous, like 10 or so years ago. There was a famous YouTuber, and back then everything was Minecraft, and I really enjoyed watching that dude. Still occasionally watch him in Germany. He's very famous. He's called Gronk. And this kind of those Let's Plays always had a certain style and kind of calmness and enthusing, so to speak, and that's what I want to provide here. But it's 1,000 hours, and I think I only have so many old stories to tell, blabbering about VR, the ETS2 in itself, so might get tedious and boring after a while. And also there are the beautiful landscapes. I mean, if you just want to see the beautiful landscapes, ETS2 is not that expensive. I think you would pick it up yourself, just, well, go ahead. So I thought, like, I need to do something else. And I came up with the original idea, originally the idea was to add some content in terms of, like, having a place where I can note down some stuff, topics I want to talk about. So giving this whole thing a little bit more meat to the bone, so to speak. So some topics that might be interesting, whatever happens out there, technology, whatnot. So stuff basically. And I thought, like, I need something where I can write this down and check it out while on my road. And so I started to look for clipboards, which I thought, like, would be something someone for sure has invented already for ETS2, because clipboards are pretty common things inside trucks. Something I can edit a little bit. I can write something down, and even I started to think, like, do a small game at that dice, for example, throw a dice, have a little bit of fun, simply speaking. I could not find anything. There's no, like, interactive board, mod, whatever, anything you can put into the truck cabin that doesn't break the immersion of VR, which is basically, well, fulfilling that, like, writing down 2 or 3. By the way, this is my hand, so hand tracking is active, but I don't think ETS2 recognizes it anyway. So, well, at the end of the day, so I really spent a solid 3, 4, 5 hours just researching for anything notepad-ish, like maybe anything that I could modify. Couldn't come up with a real solution. And so I started to search more broad, so not limited to the ETS2, but to VR in general. And then, for flight simulators, someone had the same problems, because in flight simulators, I also do flight simulations, by the way, but not as much as trucking and so on, but I do enjoy I'm not into Microsoft Flight Simulator mainly because of costs and hardware requirements, but I do some DCS, some EL Week and stuff like that. Well, anyway, I looked into VR in general, and so a solution for flight simulators came up, because that thing over there is a solution called an open knee pad. And knee pads usually are in planes, well, boards you can really bind to your knee, or to your upper leg, and have some notes there, like stuff with your plane and what else. And I thought like, well, that can be a solution. And so I installed that OpenEBed. Thanks so much to that developer. You are a true lifesaver. I can't thank you enough. I think you got the paid version also for your software. Now as it starts to prove itself for me, I will definitely go the paid route. So cool. Thanks, dude. Anyway, so I'm now installed the OpenEBed, and I could show nodes, which actually solved my very first thought problem, whatever I would call it. And yeah, but then I started thinking, well, this thing is genius because it can not only show scribbles from its noteboard, but it can also show pretty much any kind of window from the computer. So I was thinking like, well, wouldn't it be cool to have like a little bit of a game on board, stuff to do? And I thought like, what would be suitable for a drive like this? And I thought like, well, quiz games. It's fun. I usually enjoy to do them also outside of this. And so why not? So I usually enjoy them as a board game and whatever. But then the problem started to arise because there's something, having a quiz game, absolutely serious, no problem. I found one even on Steam called quiz.com, even free. And what usually doesn't work with Steam but works here is you can have ETS2 operating from Steam as well as quiz.com, and both are running simultaneously, which I've never seen before, but it works. That was easy. But here comes a big but, and that cost me at least a whole night of research and a whole not afternoon, but evening after work of research and stuff. Oh, I feel slipperage. You can't pull the mouse outside of the ETS2 window. It's borderline impossible. With pretty much any other software, you can switch it into borderless mode and whatnot, move your mouse around, done. I could not find a reliable, in any way, form, shape, not at all. I could not pull my mouse outside of this window. It's completely glued to the ETS, the mouse is glued to the ETS2 window. Same goes with the keyboard. The only way you can switch outside of it, well, there are ways, is if I do a control tab, so basically switch windows, but what happens is the VR view gets stuck, so it's I can hardly describe it. It's super awkward. Nothing that's absolutely, it's not doable. So it's seriously not doable. There are some other solutions like with the Steam overlay, but when you activate the Steam overlay, ETS2 actually automatically pauses the game. So the VR view stays okay. Your mouse is now operational outside of the ETS2 window, but the game pauses. I couldn't switch it off, and ultimately then I went the route of installing software. I thought about how about the second mouse. So first mouse might be glued to the ETS2 window, but second mouse might be happy to be operational. Yeah, kind of worked with a lot of trial and error. I found a mouse solution. So you basically can really add 2 mice, 2 keyboards, whatever to your computer, and they get with this software solution 2 mouse pointers, and they are able to leave the ETS2 window. But half of the clicks don't work anymore, and it was a whole mess. And although trying for like 2 hours or so, I simply couldn't get it to work reliably. So, but now if I'm stuck on a thought and that's how I operate, it's like now it's in my brain. Now I want to solve it. I can't let go. It's now like, nope. Is this car already gone next to me, or will I have a crash in a moment? Anyway, but now this thought is in my head, and now I need to, go. And now I need to solve it. That's how I operate in my funky brain. Now I want it to work that way. So, next thought was, connecting a second computer, because I have, as I solid idea, dude. I have some computers lying around. This is just my main computer, but there are somehow okay machines I have. And how about connecting second computer and doing with a viewer? So basically this OpenEBed software can catch any window and show it, and I tried it and it works beautiful, like it shows here. And how about connecting a second computer and showing that in a streaming window? So doing a video stream from that computer to the other computer. But with that thought, something came to my mind, because I also I then started to think about where do I have the most convenient games actually for easy operation, and that's on mobile phones, smartphones, because they are made to be easy, which is what we need inside the cabin of a car. That's why real people, sometimes, although it's forbidden, use their mobile phones while driving, because it's somewhat doable. But working a full notebook computer with a keyboard and all the interactions you might have there, not so much. And I thought, like, how can I connect a smartphone? And I got some old smartphones lying around, tried it. Getting the casting to work was a little bit of a challenge. Ultimately could get it to work with a software called AnyViewer. It's basically a service center support tool which allows the service center guy to take control of your computer. Sometimes it's even used in less happy ways by not so nice service centers. You know what I'm talking about. Hope I don't need to explain anymore. Well, anyhow, but this software for me solves the problem, so I can, and also it works that you can have a client on a computer as well as on a smartphone. Oops, I should go a bit slower here. So, long story short, I could get it to work. I could get a smartphone to show its window, as well, to show its screen information on my desktop computer inside a window. Also could get it to work with OpenEBed, but now I had another problem. Oh shit, oncoming. I wanted to go into the wrong side again. I now had another problem, because even if I put the smartphone in a lab, I can't see it. I'm simply speaking blind, because I use the VR headset. Well, I can go for the route of not using VR like at all, but for me that's not the real option. I simply can't really drive anymore without VR. It's as funky as it sounds. That's like it for me, and not because I'm like super elite VR dude. It's simply because I'm getting dizzy. My perception changed in a way that when I drive something where I expect depth and it's not there, like in a driving game, simply my eyes, it's like super exhausting for my eyes, and I really get dizzy. So it's basically I have VR sickness, but the other way around. Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, so I need to drive in VR. Also, I like it more. It's simply more fun for me. Whatever. I want to do it. So, well, now I have the problem. I don't see what's happening on the screen. So far, we have now an implementation for VR that hacks pretty much into the OpenX or OpenVR part of this whole setup, overlaying that window there. Inside that window now we have a streaming solution that streams the contents of a smartphone to that. Now guess how I solved the problem with the touch. So I quickly drop off that here. I give you a second to come up, because I need to have a mouse, and I will show you in a second. Okay, I will show you in a second when I find my solution. But I'm sorry for looking around. I need to find the other part of my genius setup. Look at that. Oh, do you look at anything? Yeah, I'm going. Someone is... Oops! So, a second. Did I already mess up? Funky. Can't see it at home. Well, anyhow, I messed something up, but usually there should be a mouse pointer over there. I will check it out in a second what went wrong. There should be a mouse pointer over there and then can beautifully control it. Guess how that works. I'll give you a moment while I park our truck. It's really, really cursed. To add to the cursed part of this whole thing already. But it works. When it works, I don't know what I did wrong, so I can't see the point at the moment. I will quickly check once this thing is dropped off. But you guess in the meanwhile. Usually a mouse pointer appears. And I, with the mouse pointer, know what I'm doing. Mostly. Okay. Oops. Should be good. Lower too far. Oops. And some stretches. Okay. Well, my poor truck now stretches. Oops. Let's see. Second time, oops, second time's the charm. Let's get what too far still. Does it record? No, I will not record. It's good. Come on. Yeah, don't be picky. Oh, there's something there. Oh, occasionally looking at the other side helps. Oops, wrong side. Okay, I accepted it. Right. So, let's drop it off. Yeah, we are late. I know I fucked up sleeping cycles. How much do we pay? 10,000. 44. Oh, we are really late. So I really messed up with some sleeping. Okay, we have another point. Yay. Okay, we've got everything up there. Just in time delivery. Eco driving. Nah, that will never happen. Let's do this. Okay. So, and now let's get back into the saddle. I will explain. So I hope first, I think for approval, I need to get it working. Does it work? Well, funky enough, it doesn't show it here. Maybe this one got stuck. This view. So let's. What's it do? No. Okay, I see. I quickly need to do something. So I need to think the any viewer on the smartphone crashed or something like that, which it didn't do so far at any point, but well, there's a first time for everything. So let's start this. Okay. I will quickly need to switch out of VR view here, and so you will have an awkward experience. I'm sorry for that, but I can't change it. Okay, now you see what I mean with awkward VR view. Does it work again? Yes, now it works. Okay, now all of you know my ID. Very good. That is really how I planned it, but you're Nice people, you don't do bad things. Don't hack into my phones or stuff like that. Anyway, I will now switch over again because, but that is the problem. If I need to switch out of, now my keyboard gives error, probably gives trouble. I need to move my mouse in here. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, we are back again. So, now, here we are. Look at that beauty. There's my mouse. There's my mouse. There's my mouse. I hope it doesn't crashe more frequently like it just did. So, but here we can do one player. Ah, sure. I wanted to actually, well, no, need to stop that game now. Also need to put away that whatever overlay that up there is. So, perfect placement for that overlay. Really awesome. Whatever, I need. So, okay. Why does it show that overlay actually? Psst. Owls. Sorry, I've got dogs. And as you heard my cats fighting. I'm sorry. I will pause that for a moment and quickly let my dogs out. The office.